Unit 2. The purpose of this unit is to study the present subjunctive. Students will be able to recognize and use the subjunctive. Los verbos en español. In a sentence, the verb is the word or group of words that identifies the action. The way a verb is written indicates the time of the action, or the verb tense, these being present, the preterite, the imperfect, and the future. The other aspect of a verb is the mood. The mood can be indicative, imperative, or subjunctive. In indicative verb tenses, you would say, yo hablo español. Nosotros bailamos en la fiesta. Anita compra muchos aretes. In the imperative, you'd be using commands or mandatos. Habla español en clase. Baila con Pepe en la fiesta. Compra los aretes para el baile. The subjunctive. It is used when a person influences the actions of another. I want you to read a book this summer. Yo quiero que tú leas un libro este verano. Do you recommend we study for the final? ¿Usted recomienda que nosotros estudiemos para el final? Indicative versus subjunctive. El modo indicativo. The indicative mood is objective. It is used to describe facts. It states what is considered to be certain. It is the mood of what is. El modo subjuntivo. The subjunctive mood is used to express feelings, judgment, and emotions relating to an action. It states what is considered to be desirable, possible, doubtful, or uncertain. It is the mood of what may or might be. El presente del subjuntivo. It is used when one person influences the actions of another. Ejemplos. I want you to show me your passport. Yo quiero que tú me enseñes tu pasaporte. Do you recommend we check the luggage? ¿Tú recomiendas que nosotros facturemos el equipaje? Note that when the subjunctive sentences have two parts, each with a different subject connected by the word que. In the first example, there's two subjects. The first is yo or I, and then you have the que, and the second clause with a different subject as to or you. So there are two parts, and they're connected by the word que. In number 2, there are two subjects again. The first subject in the indicative form, just like you learned previously, is the verb recomendar, conjugated in the recomendar form to recomiendas. Next we have que and the second clause with facturemos. Facturar is an AR verb, but with the subjunctive ending, we have to give it a new ending. The first part of sentence uses the present tense form of the verb. So just like above, in example 1, with yo quiero and tú recomiendas, plus que, and the second part of the sentence uses the subjunctive. Enseñes and facturemos. Esta es una lista de verbos que generalmente usan el presente subjuntivo. So this list, they are called trigger verbs. If you see them, you have to follow them by the word que. Decir, querer, permitir, prohibir, necesitar, sugerir, insistir, recomendar, preferir. In order to form the present subjunctive, you're going to first have to drop the O. You're going to have to cut it, chop it out. And then you add the present tense form of yo, and add the present tense subjunctive endings. On this next slide, we have 3 examples of verbs. We have an example of a verb that's in the AR verb form, the aprender in the ER form, and escribir in the IR form. The next 3 charts show what the U verb ending will be to form the subjunctive. For an AR verb, we have es, hemos, and en. When you conjugate hablar, you say in the subjunctive, hable, hables, hable, hablemos, y hablen. For aprender, the verb ending in er, we have aprenda, aprendas, aprenda, aprendamos, and aprendan. Escribir is escriba, escribas, escriba, escribamos, and escriban. Notice that the er and the ir verbs have the same endings, which is great because it simplifies our work and we only have to memorize. There are, however, the subjunctive forms that are irregular. Llegar, for arrive, and hacer, to do, have irregular conjugations. There are others, but we will not get into them now. Llegar becomes llegue, llegues, llegue, lleguemos, and lleguen. It's irregular because you must add a u and then an e, instead of just dropping the ar and adding an e as above. Hacer is an irregular verb because we have to add a g. Look above. Aprender ends in er and you only add an a for a, as, a, amos, and an. For hacer, it's haga, hagas, haga, hagamos, and hagan. The following 10 sentences are all in English, and they are sentences where I want you to read them and decide if they are written in the indicative form, marking I, or in the subjunctive, marking with S. When you read these sentences, remember the rules. The rules for subjunctives. Make a checklist in your head. Does the sentence have two subjects? If it doesn't have two subjects, you immediately know it will not be subjunctive. Does the subject express want, emotion, desire, denial, or negative, doubt? No, if it doesn't, it's not the subjunctive. So let's work. Number 1, I want to travel. Are there two subjects? Nope, just one, I. So it's indicative. In number 2, I want my friend Cecilia to travel with me to Uruguay. Are there two subjects? Yes, I and Cecilia. Is there a notion of wanting, desire? A recommendation, perhaps? Yes, there is. I want Cecilia to travel to do something. She probably already has summer plans and isn't going to come with me, but in any case, it's subjunctive. Number 3, the Spanish teacher practices the vocabulary with the students. Are there two subjects? Yes, the Spanish teacher and the students. But does the Spanish teacher want them to practice, or is she simply practicing with them? It's indicative. Number 4, the Spanish teacher recommends that the students practice vocabulary every day for 15 minutes. Is that subjunctive? Yes, there's two subjects. The Spanish teacher wants students to practice every day for 15 minutes, so it's subjunctive. Number 5, he needs to check his luggage. Is there two subjects? No, just one. It's indicative. He needs you to check your luggage soon. Two subjects. He needs you to check your luggage soon. Subjunctive. 7. Mario insists on eating paella tonight. Is that indicative or subjunctive? There's only one subject, so it's indicative. Number 8. Mario insists on me eating paella tonight, but I don't like seafood. He's insisting. He must be. Subjunctive. I tell the truth. Only one subject? Indicative. To tell my students to speak Spanish in class all the time. Sorry, I tell my students to speak Spanish in class all the time. There's one student. There's one subject, me, telling students to speak. Expressing desire for the subjunctive. Let's take a quiz on subjunctive with the following listening exercise. Insert the URL and follow along as I read 10 sentences. Listening exercise. Listen to the sentence and mark it as indicative or subjunctive. Les sugiero que compren un boleto de ida y vuelta. 2. Insisten en que pase por la inspección de seguridad. 3. Es importante hacer la maleta antes de viajar. 4. Les prohíben que lleven tijeras o cuchillos en el avión. 5. La turista le gusta sacar muchas fotos del país extranjero. 6. Les recomiendo que no facturen la maleta que tiene sus medicinas. 7. Prefiere que llegue al aeropuerto 2 horas antes de la salida del avión. 8. Siempre necesita tener su pasaporte cuando viajas. 9. Quieren que tenga su pasaporte siempre durante el viaje. 10. Los auxiliares del vuelo explican la seguridad del avión en un anuncio importante. All done.